Female fertility and the potential lack thereof has been a bit of an issue for the COVID vaccine critics since back in 2021 when Brett Weinstein hosted a podcast where we were greeted for the first time by this infamous screenshot of hardcore ovary intrusion on the part of the vaccine mRNA. I will return to that. It reared its head the other day on GB News when one doctor, Tina Pierce, was talking to Lawrence Fox. I've got 3 clips here. One is a bit longish, about 90 seconds, the first one, and the other 2 are very short. I will warn you up front that this video might be a bit of a bumpy ride.
We know from the Pfizer studies themselves that they said to the women in the studies, you must not get pregnant, you must use contraception, you mustn't get pregnant under any circumstances. And human nature being what it is, 25 women did get pregnant. And out of the 25 pregnancies, there were 15 miscarriages, which means that's 58% miscarriage rate for women who were vaccinated and became pregnant. We've seen miscarriage and stillborn baby rates go up enormously, actually. In Scotland, the normal rate is 2 in 1,000, and it's gone up to 4.9 in 1,000, which is the highest level for over 10 years. Some centres are reporting a 78% miscarriage rate, which is extraordinary, quite extraordinary. And infertility, there was a study in Israel looking at male infertility. They looked at sperm count in young men aged 24 to 26. They did it before they had any vaccines, which is the right way to do it, so you can see your baseline, and then at various intervals after the second dose, and even at 6 months, their sperm count was down 15.9% and the motility was down 22%. It's the highly vaccinated countries that are having the biggest rates of lower fertility. So in Hungary, for example, their birth rate's down 20%, which is phenomenal.
So the shopping list there contains this lot. Pfizer study, 25 pregnancies, 15 miscarriages. Scotland, formerly 2 miscarriages in 1,000, now 4.9 in 1,000. Reports of 78% miscarriage rate. Sperm count down 15% in Israel. Hungary, birth rate down 15% as well. All of this ends at the door of baby numbers. That is the gold standard for verification. Are they regular? There's no problem. Are they not regular? Well, there might be a problem. These are the UK rates since World War II. We had a peak in '64, since when it's all been on the decline, bottoming out in 2020. Then in 2021, first year of the vaccines, it's actually ticked up a fraction. Then this from Macro Trends doesn't seem to show any uptick. It shows the same steady 0.5% decline year on year, including the data from the current year. In terms of the raw numbers, in 2021 there were 624,828 live births, an increase of 1.8% compared with 2020, 613,936. So 2020 just under 614,000 as a baseline, and 2021 624,000. Obviously only younger women are relevant here who were vaccinated later, and that would reduce to a degree the relevance of 2021. So the youngest women of childbearing age were 25% vaccinated in June 21 and 50% by August. And the oldest childbearing women were 25% vaccinated by May 21 and 50% vaccinated by early June. So there's a big enough chunk of childbearing women who were vaccinated for problems to start showing up in the 2021 numbers, but as we saw, the numbers did actually tick up slightly in relation to 2020. This is then worldwide. Somehow in a world of increasing population, birth rates have been uniformly declining since about 2005. Figure that one out. 2020, before the vaccines, 135 million, and 2021, after the vaccines, 134 million, so that doesn't seem to throw up any concerns. What about this 20% fall claim about Hungary?
So in Hungary, for example, their birth rate's down 20%, which is phenomenal.
I can find absolutely nothing whatsoever to back this up. This is the Hungary crude birth rate, currently 9.5 per thousand, and looking at the graph, a similar peak to ours back in '54, way up at 22.9, then down, 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 bottoming out in 2011 at 8.9, then recovering a bit in 2020 to 9.5, and ticking along the same 2021 and 2022. Back to Macro Trends, which corresponds pretty much. They give 9.4, 9.3, a bit lower year on year, around the same. And this is the official Hungarian Stats Office, and 2021 at least, the numbers are indeed on the up and up. Still way below sustainability levels, but getting better and showing zero signs of decline. So I have no idea what she's talking about. And you've seen several sources here, it's not just one source, and they all suggest, the UK, Europe, worldwide, there's no particular problem with fertility. How does that make you feel? Does it make you angry? I think it should make you happy, really. This doctor, Tina Pearce, also mentioned that ovary issue, which is what launched Robert Malone into the public space in mid-2021.
Now, we know from the biodistribution studies that were done in Japan that 16% of it goes to the ovaries and the testicles. So it's no wonder that the sperm count was down and the motility was down. It's no wonder that we're seeing miscarriages.
16% mRNA in the ovaries and testes. That came from this occasion in 2021 when Brett Weinstein hosted Robert Malone, who is a pioneer in the mRNA vaccine field and an American entrepreneur who invented the optical mouse, called Steve Kirsch, on a podcast in 2021 when Kirsch produced this rabbit out of the hat, which is what she was talking about in that clip with Lawrence Fox. You can see ovaries sitting in first place at 12 millilitres concentration, not 16% as she suggested, and testicles are nowhere in sight, much less 16%, so she seems to have got all that wrong. But what you do seem to have is a dump of vaccine mRNA in the ovaries just 48 hours to the exclusion of pretty much everything else. Looks bad. So it is now time to have a look at the source. This is the data he used from the Pfizer document that was yielded from that Japanese scientist's Freedom of Information request, this bit here and that bit there. These are all the organs up to 48 hours after injection. The bit on the left is the amount in millilitres found using a special highlighting technique, and the bit on the right is the actual percentage of injected dose. And here I've put it all into a table using the data on the left that Mouseman used from top concentration to bottom concentration. So ovaries in 5th place, that is 5th place, not first, 12.3 millilitres, testes way down at 0.32 millilitres concentration. At the top you've got the injection site in the shoulder where the majority of the injected substance stays, about 65% of the total. The remaining 35%, which does go walkabout, is next most heavy in the liver at 24 millilitres, spleen around the same, adrenals 18 millilitres. Then we arrive at the ovaries at 12.3, and below the ovaries we have everything from bone marrow down to brain at a very low concentration. So what in the world has happened here? What Optical Mouseman did was to look at the data, take only that bit, which represents about 30 milligrams, so as to make it look like everything is loaded up in the ovaries, leaving out all of that, which represents about 210 milligrams. The chart that we saw represents 1/8 of the total. This is 1/8 of the total info, just 12%. The ovaries therefore represent just 5% of the total on the basis of that special highlighting technique they used. But if you look at the actual injected dose, it's lower again. That's the 12.3 millilitres there compared to 0.095%. Basically 0.1% of the injected dose, or 1 part in 1,000. Not 16%, 0.1%, a tiny, 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 tiny amount in the ovaries. And that then logically corresponds to what we see in the numbers, i.e. no particular change in fertility rates. You've now seen the source data with your own eyes. Does that bother you at all? And do you appreciate how diplomatic I'm being at this point? I can't play the original video because it was deleted by YouTube, and I'm sure even just playing the audio would be another deletion and potential channel strike offence. But I can quote it, and this is what Robert Malone said. I did review the primary data, and I concur that the primary data is consistent with the graph that you have nicely summarised. You have seen the primary data with your own eyes. You have seen that Optical Mouseman deliberately left out 2/3 of the data to mislead his audience. Steve Kirsch, the one who put together that chart to mislead everyone. What do we care about him? He invented the optical mouse. Brett Weinstein, that's a different matter. He's very well known and very popular. I shouldn't be giving him a free pass, and I'm not giving him a free pass, but I'll leave him out of it at this point. Robert Malone is not an idiot. He's a vaccinologist. He knows all of this. How can he say, I have looked at the data and I concur, when he knows it's false. I'll tell you exactly how he can do that. He is absolutely as damn sure as he can be that you will never find out. What makes you angrier? To know that Robert Malone is lying to you, or for me to tell you that Robert Malone is lying? Would you rather be lied to if the lies support what you already believe? And if that's the case, how in the hell can you ever learn anything? What I cannot find anything whatsoever about is this here.
Out of the 9 babies that were born, 5 had congenital abnormalities. So this is a complete disaster.
I cannot find anything on that subject after 2019. If it's out there, I haven't found it. For this period, March 2020 to the present, I have found nothing whatsoever. Maybe there's a problem there, maybe there isn't. We'll probably have to wait for better information to come out. But anyway, the ovaries, it seems, are fine. There are absolutely inconsequential amounts of vaccine mRNA therein, and the numbers bear that out. There doesn't seem to be any effect on fertility, which is a good thing, surely. So, if people want to stay on this vaccine kick, I would suggest that vaccine injuries, vaccinating young people who have absolutely no need to be vaccinated, and the potential injury to them, the potential greater risk of vaccine injury than benefit from the vaccines, I would suggest that that is probably the best area to be focusing on. I don't think there is anything here in terms of infertility to see at this point. And since it turns out that you can't trust the establishment media to not lie to you, and you can't trust these conspiracy wingnuts to not lie to you, you can't trust anybody to not lie to you. All you're left being able to do is try to get as good source data for yourself as you can, totally devoid of any pre-existing beliefs that you have, and make your mind up for yourself, because it seems you can't trust anyone not to lie to you. This thing somehow drove everybody stark staring mad. What an absolute mind virus. What a bizarre phenomenon it's been.